mix of that going forward. My next slide, please. And this is really the one that I'm going to be closing with, ladies and gentlemen. It's our Cape Trade portal. It's a marketplace, so you'll be able to find key exporters if you're wanting to source product, but it's also a place of great resource. So you're able to identify what the requirements are for various exporters in your market. And we've given it's a huge database of information for importers just wanting to engage. You're able to actually list yourself on our platform, and you'll be able to have engagements with our exporters in the region. So I strongly implore you to please visit the website capetradeportal.com and engage with our agency in that way. Thank you very much, Patrick. I'm going to hand over to Ema, who will carry on and describe or explain our investment promotion division. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruby. Right, I'm just going to turn my camera back on. Bueno, buenas tardes, o en este caso, buenos días. Es un gusto estar con ustedes. Yo soy Emer Costigan, directora de Investment Promotion con Westgrove. A continuación, les voy a enseñar un video y después hablaremos en inglés sobre la oferta para los inversores de Cape Town y Western Cape. And that's where my Spanish is going to end. So we'll watch a video and then we'll continue in English. Okay, so yeah, thank you for the invitation to speak about investment in Cape Town and the Western Cape. And if after that video, anybody watching doesn't already want to visit our beautiful country and our beautiful province, then I'm sure my colleague Zintle, when she speaks about the tourism offering, will surely do the final convincing. But I'm here to talk about investment, and the Western Cape is extremely well placed in terms of investment, and we speak about it being ideal for head office positioning in terms of the access into the rest of Africa. We've consistently been ranked in the best airport rankings in Africa. We also are home to 3 international seaports in our province. We have a sophisticated and very well maintained road infrastructure, and I think importantly, from a skills pipeline perspective, we are home to 4 top universities, and that includes 2 leading business schools as well. Many of you may have heard of the University of Cape Town and Stellenbosch University in particular. We at Cape Town, or at Westgrow, are home to a specific program called the Air Access Program, which has seen tremendous success, particularly pre-COVID, but it is in fact regaining most of the ground lost during COVID in terms of establishing over 20 direct air access routes in and out of Cape Town International Airport. As you'll see, there is somewhat of a gap where we don't have a nice pink line going across to South America. However, as you can see, we are well connected via a number of European destinations, and I think the connections are therefore reasonable in terms of getting access from your markets into ours. And of course, it's something for us to aim for as the trade and investment between our countries increases. And I'm sure Patrick would be delighted to see more connections between our countries. So the Western Cape economy is largely driven by professional services, and you'll see that that represents 32% of the contribution to the economy. But manufacturing comes in third at 15%, and we're going to speak a little bit more about that sector in particular. Some of the other key sectors based in the region include retail. Ruby has also already made reference to agribusiness, which our agri exports was one of the success stories or silver linings, if you like, of the COVID period in our province. You'll recognize some big global names, whether it be Amazon in particular, that has quite a significant presence in Cape Town. Naspers is also a leading tech and media company. So we are home to a large number of multinationals and international companies in our province. Zooming in a little on the manufacturing sector in particular, and reasons to invest in manufacturing in the Western Cape. So we do have an available skilled workforce with a pool of skilled labor at different levels, all the way up to very innovative design skills. And we have a mix of well-established firms and organized industries. And we've already spoken about our geographic location. We've got an excellent international reputation when it comes to engineering. And we also have close ties to the African Union and to other African countries in our region of sub-Saharan Africa. The opportunities in manufacturing that we are particularly excited about include both building, but also marine manufacturing and engineering services and ship rig repair and maintenance. We also have a long history of clothing and textiles as an important sector within our manufacturing industry. And there's a growing medical devices focus as well. I'd like to just mention 2 zones in particular that are of key relevance when it comes to manufacturing investment. So Atlantis Special Economic Zone is a brand new development in terms of our economic landscape, although the foundations have been being built over the last 2 years. This is a special economic zone dedicated in particular to the green economy and specifically to green tech manufacturing, and companies that establish themselves within this zone will have access to attractive grants and incentives. Another zone I'd like to draw your attention to is Saldanha Bay. So sorry, just to go back to Atlantis very quickly, it's at a distance of, I guess it's about 45 minutes drive from Cape Town, from the city of Cape Town, about 40 kilometers. And Saldanha Bay is a little further away, let's say an hour and a half drive. And Saldanha has a specific, is another one of our ports and has a specific focus on the oil and gas sector. I'm also going to briefly look at the historical data of investment flows between our countries. There isn't a huge amount to refer back to, so I think there's potential, there's room for growth in these numbers. It's something for us to aim for. Chile has invested 2 projects in South Africa over the period that we looked at, which is from 2003 until January of this year. I'll make reference, unlike Ruby, I'll make reference to South Africa in general and occasionally to the Western Cape, our province in particular. So those investments were in business services and in food and beverage. Ruby's also already spoken about the significance of that industry in our province. In terms of South African FDI, the picture looks a little busier. We've invested in 7 projects in Chile, creating over 1,000 jobs. Again, one of the projects was from the Western Cape and was into the food and beverage sector. No surprises there. In terms of FDI from South Africa into Peru, you can see that there have been 5 projects over the last 2 decades, more or less, with the most recent having been a fruit investment to the tune of 400 billion rand. With Bolivia, it's the picture looks, let's say there's even more room, even more potential for growth. There's 1 investment into Bolivia and no specific investments between the Western Cape and that country. Again, with Ecuador, there has been an investment of 1 project from South Africa into Ecuador, but again, not from the Western Cape in particular. So building on the idea that there is room to grow and that the Western Cape is very much open to investment conversations, I would like to mention the Invest SA one-stop shop, which Westgrow operates on behalf of our national entity, Invest South Africa. And this does exactly what the name says. So it is a one-stop shop bringing together over a dozen entities that an investor may typically need to engage with or encounter on their investment journey. So that might be the Department of Home Affairs in relation to visas for their management or employees. It could be the Department of Labor. It could be SARS, which is our tax or revenue commissioners. It could be our provincial government. And so physically under one roof, we bring together all of these entities for an investor to engage with in a seamless fashion. But obviously 2022 being what it is, we also offered the opportunity for investors to engage with those bodies virtually, again, in a very streamlined fashion. So we want to smooth the investor journey as much as possible. And I'm always proud to talk about the fact that our provincial government in the Western Cape has a beautifully named division called the Red Tape Reduction Unit. And I think that is testament to how important ease of doing business is as a priority for both the Western Cape government, but also for Westgrow as an agency. We are all about ease of doing business. And I think our connection to government, be it local, provincial, or national, affords us the opportunity to lobby for and advocate for investor interests to ensure that it is as fluid and as streamlined as possible for them to come and do business in our province. Just to touch briefly on some of the other services that we provide, we offer guidance around government incentives and grants. We handhold companies through the location of suitable sites for their business in the province. Access to finance is a huge area of interest, obviously, that we can assist with. We do referrals. I've mentioned policy advocacy, which we draw on the one-stop shop for. Strategic matchmaking is something that investors often call on our services for in relation to be it distributors or joint ventures or whatever it might be. Ruby has made reference to our research unit, which we're very proud of, and which I think really gives us the edge in terms of data-driven decision-making being a priority for our agency, and we rely on our excellent research unit for the data and the insights that they give us, and our investors obviously benefit from that too. And then intergovernmental linkages is a key benefit that we share with our investors as well. So on that note, I thank you for your attention. My colleague Dinesh Hari, who is the Manufacturing Portfolio Manager, is with us on the call today. So when we move to questions and answers, we have that technical expertise as well for any questions that you may have. And with that, I will hand over to my colleague Zintle to speak about the tourism offering of Cape Town and the Western Cape.
Hi, Zintle, you're still on mute, just to let you know.
Sorry, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Greetings to everybody who's joined us today. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present Cape Town and the Western Cape. My name is Zintle from the Leisure Tourism Unit at Westgrow, and I have the very exciting role of speaking to you about our beautiful destination. But first, I'd like to take you through what we do, as well as our business services. As my colleagues Ruben and Ima said, Westgrow is the official tourism trade and investment promotion agency for Cape Town and the Western Cape. And within Westgrow, we have the Destination Marketing Organization, which is made up of the Leisure Tourism Unit, which I represent, as well as our Convention Bureau. The Leisure Tourism Unit promotes the Western Cape and focuses on tourism trade, media influencers, marketing campaigns, and event support. And then our Convention Bureau, they focus on business tourism. Some of our services in the Leisure Tourism Unit, we provide event funding and media activation. So we support local events through funding, and we also host media and trade hosting, fam trips, and we get into joint marketing organizations with both private and public sector. And we also do content creation. So we have our own content, which is images, videos, itineraries that we provide to travel trade and consumers at no charge at all. We also have a research unit, as my colleagues have said, so we can provide tourism stats and insights at no cost at all. And we also, because we partner with different entities across sectors, we can also facilitate connections as well across sectors. So the Western Cape has 6 regions. These are Cape Town, Cape West Coast, Cape Winelands, Garden Route and Klein Karoo, the Cape Overberg, as well as the Cape Karoo. I'm going to run you through some highlights for each of the regions. So Cape Town, here you'll experience the city life, you'll find friendly locals, there's a vast number of experiences on offer, and Cape Town's also rich in history and diversity. The Cape West Coast is known for its beautiful stretch of beaches, wide open spaces, its rock formations and rock art, and it's also very much rich in culture. The Cape Overberg is known as the breadbasket of the Cape because of its wheat fields and large harvest of fruits. Here you'll also find scenic coastal towns such as Hermanus, and we also have an abundance of marine wildlife here. In the Cape Overberg, you have a town called Hermanus, which is known as the whale watching capital of the world. The Garden Route is known as the Garden of Africa. The Garden Route is one of the most loved road trips that many people who visit South Africa embark on. Here you'll find majestic mountains and mountain passes, as well as blue coastlines and thick forests. The Cape Winelands, here you'll find world-class wine estates and award-winning restaurants, but the Cape Winelands is known for more than just its wine. Here you'll get experiences from wide open spaces for adventure to luxury accommodation and family-friendly experiences. The Cape Karoo is also known for its wide open spaces. This is the place where you go to get off the grid and to escape the pace of the city life. Here you can experience wild game, clear skies, and magical sunset. It's also the best place in the Western Cape for stargazing because of its clear skies. I will now take you through a series of videos highlighting each of our regions, and I hope it will leave you inspired. Here you go. stop this over here. We do have one more region to showcase, but I'm conscious of time. Sorry, and that is where I'll end my presentation. Thank you very much. A catchphrase that we use at Wesgro is that if you're not inspired, then you're not here. So if you weren't inspired by those videos, then it's because you're not here. So we urge you to come to the Western Cape and experience a all-in-one province. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you to the team of Wesgro for that very comprehensive overview of the opportunities available in the province. It is now my honor to hand over the floor to Mr. Bruce Tedder. Mr. Tedder is the chairman of the South African Boat Builders Export Council, an industry association that link companies across South Africa to represent and grow the boat building industry and promote exports. Mr. Tedder is also a businessman in his own right and CEO of Tedder Yachts, a charter and brokerage business, as well as the newly established Waterfront Houseboats, both based in Cape Town. Mr. Tedder, I hand the floor over to you.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Wesgro, Zintle especially. That was very exciting, and I just thank my lucky stars. I live here in the Western Cape, so thank you very much. My colleague and executive manager of SABIC, Tina Putra, is with us. If you do engage with SABIC in the future, you will be dealing with Tina. So thank you, Patrick, and honorable guests and visitors. Thank you for this opportunity. Carmen, could we play the video? We're going to have a 10-minute video, which is really highlighting our major boat builders. And then we'll have a short PowerPoint presentation, and then we'll do question and answer. So I think we'll start with the video, if we could, Carmen. Thank you.
Just a second, please.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome here to magnificent, beautiful Cape Town. I've got the privilege to be the MD of Robertson & Kane International Yachts. We produce for our esteemed customer Travelopia, who owns the Moorings and the Sunsail brands, and for our private yacht owners, the Leopard brand, these magnificent catamarans, both power and sailing catamarans. We really appreciate your business. We want to thank you for it. We get exquisite feedback from you on how to produce and improve our yachts. It is a fantastic honor for us. We produce one of these yachts every second day. I still get butterflies when I step on them, like today. Even if you see one of them going into the water every second day, it's real excitement. It's a lifestyle of going to exotic places, connecting with your family. In today's world of COVID, where we've put a lot of effort into connectivity in these boats, you can work from them, you can have your private areas here on the flybridge, you can enjoy the water.
Thank you to Nick and Teresa from Sailing Ruby Rose, Sail and Leisure magazine, and of course all the readers and viewers that voted for our Neisner 500 SE. We don't build yachts for the awards or accolades. For us, it's about crafting the finest blue water cruising catamarans possible. This award does prove, however, that our dedication to craftsmanship and elevating what we do every day is noticed and appreciated by multi-hull lovers around the world. We work closely with our owners to deliver a yacht that is uniquely theirs, so that our catamarans stand out from any factory model out there and each other. The Neisner 500 SE is a vessel we're incredibly proud of.
Welcome to Royal Cape Catamarans, home to the majestic 530 and 570. Durban, KwaZulu-Natal is home to royalty. The majestic Big Five African animals, including the King of the Cats. And here visitors enjoy sunshine, sea, and amazing safari holidays. The layouts are customized and include up to 6 ensuite double cabins. The cabins offer great headroom, natural light and ventilation with privacy and ample storage in cupboards. The superbly equipped galley extends to the cockpit, and we include, as standard, 2 fridges, 2 freezers, convection microwave, full oven and hob, washer dryer, dishwasher and ice maker. The safe protected helm offers wonderful all-round visibility and has the necessary electronic and navigation equipment. The lovely panoramic flybridge is ideal for socializing and relaxing under cover with a breeze and comfortable seating. Our policy is to include what you need, and what you see is what you get. Please visit us at www.royalcapecatamarans.com.
Two Oceans Marine Manufacturing is a world-class marine manufacturer based in Cape Town, South Africa. Founded in 1989, Two Oceans Marine is a leading global custom catamaran manufacturer. We specialize in custom and semi-custom power and sailing catamarans from 27 to 150 foot and have 13,000 square meters of covered factory floor space at the Cape Town Harbour. Two Oceans Marine manufactures custom and semi-custom luxury power, custom cruising, performance sailing, day charter, sport fishing, and commercial catamarans, as well as offshore rescue craft. We are one of only a few large custom power and sailing catamaran manufacturers in the world. With over 32 years extensive experience in quality boat building, the staff at Two Oceans Marine are highly skilled. They are actively involved in all sailing and boating activities and have a wealth of knowledge and expertise. Completed vessels are launched and sea trialed within a short distance of the factory, saving time and expense. Two Oceans Marine Manufacturing, a distinct difference.
Wow, thank you very much, Carmen. I think that must have got everybody quite excited. It's amazing craft. I'm now going to share my screen and we will have a short PowerPoint presentation. Slides. Sorry, there we go. Thank you very much for your time. This is a short PowerPoint presentation which gives you a little bit of more insight into the size and stature of our sector. SABEX, which is the South African Boat Builders Export Council. It is one of 23 export councils in South Africa, supported by the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition. They support us with national pavilions at most of the major boat shows around the world. We have a very diverse board, a board of directors, providing strategic direction and oversight, obviously. Our mandate is to grow the South African boat building industry, promote exports, boat building and the marine manufacturing sector. We have 85 paid up members across a wide range, from the boat builders, the suppliers, the mast builders, sail makers, business and business services, and of course training for sail training and for the super yachts. It was founded in 2001. The boat building sector is on the leisure side is about 2.7 billion rands a year, 80 to 85% of export, obviously a hugely positive trade balance. South Africa is the second largest producer of sailing catamarans in the world after France, but we are the biggest producer of large power catamarans, predominantly over 15 to 18 meters. We are the biggest in the world. Every year, our boat builders win Boat of the Year awards in Europe and America and the Caribbean. I think as you saw from the video earlier there, we have 4 major hubs. Obviously, Cape Town is one, Knysna, which is on the
Sorry, Bruce.
Yep.
We can't see your screen. So I think.
Can you, I'm so sorry. Can you
stop sharing? Maybe share again.
Yep, can you escape? Sorry, Tina, can you pull your one up?
No problem. Let me. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Can you go
Okay,
bigger?
perfect.
All right. So is yours up full size, Tina?
Yes, mine's up full size.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, everybody. Tina, could we go to number 3? I think we were.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I haven't got it, but I will go to 3 myself. Right. Okay, sorry, everybody. The major hubs, Cape Town, Knysna on the East Cape, Cape St. Francis, and of course, Durban. COVID obviously was a disaster, and it still is for everybody. The first 3, 4, 5 months were a nightmare until we got our factories open, running at 50% capacity. And we've been fortunate working with government to obviously have the factories open sooner rather than later. And what has happened worldwide, no exception in South Africa, in the leisure boat building sector, has been a phenomenal boom from all types of craft, from small kayaks up to the super yachts we build. So the order books are full, and it is an absolute boom for the sector. Next one, Tina. Okay, where do we sit internationally? We are obviously members of all the major international marine and boat building entities, ICOMIA, IMSI. In fact, Vanessa Davidson, who is on our board of directors, is the chairperson of one of the departments of IMSI, ABYS, NMMA, and of course METS trade show in Amsterdam. Next one, Tina. Okay, our expertise. It is not just our boat builders, clearly. We have to build masts that go on these vessels. Sail makers, we've got world-class sail makers, world-class mast makers. We have Southern Ropes is a company that makes marine braid ropes. They export all over the world. We have actually hatch manufacturers for all the super yachts we build at Southern Wind, custom carbon hatches. We manufacture life rafts. We manufacture life jackets, but we service life rafts, obviously. Outboard engine specialists. There's a huge amount of outboards in the leisure fishing sector. Composite specialists, that's carbon fiber. Inboard engine specialists, obviously on all the catamarans, electronics and electrical systems. We make a lot of aluminum and steel boats, so we have a lot of expertise in that sector. Obviously, then there's maintenance and repairs for our local boats and all the cruising yachts. We get over 200 cruising yachts sailing around the Cape on their round the world trips, and we maintain them, we repair them, we clean them, we anti-foul them. Sound systems and audiovisual specialists, obviously marine radios, and then there's hardware as well. So it's a diverse offering, and of course you need to have this backup. You can't just have a boat builder on their own. They need this backup from all the local companies that are part of the value chain. You know, if you think that we build and launch in total about 320 large vessels, that's 1.5 boats every single working day of the year. It's a massive sector. Next one, Tina. Okay, we've got some industry findings from a study which was done in 2020 into the economic contribution of marine manufacturing. This was commissioned by the DTIC and the IDC. Next one, Tina. Okay, so the profile was on the marine sector, specialist services, boat builders and ship builders, component manufacturers, and then sales and distribution networks. Next one, Tina. Okay, we're looking at the turnovers. If we look at the total turnover, this was, about 3.2 billion rands in the manufacturing side. If we add in the components, sales, distribution, the entire sector is approximately 4.4 billion. The leisure sector in boat building itself is, well over 2 billion. We build quite a lot of commercial vessels, strike craft, crew replacement vessels for the oil sector, and a lot of smaller patrol vessels, safety vessels for navies around Africa. That's the commercial side. And as you saw from the video earlier, obviously the leisure sector is by far the biggest. Next one, Tina. Thank you. We can see employment figures. Clearly, leisure is heads and shoulders above all the other aspects of the marine boat building sector. I think what is also growing quite strongly is the super yacht sector, visiting super yachts to Cape Town on their trips going east into the Indian Ocean or heading west. And then also heading south in the summer. A lot of the super yachts are doing expeditions down to the ice. Cape Town has become a major hub for crew training and replenishment, repairs, and maintenance of these vessels. And of course, for the crews themselves to have some time off and enjoy Cape Town and the Western Cape. Next one, please, Tina. So clearly there, the key findings. It's a big sector. We know, as I said before, we're number 2 in the world for catamarans. We're growing at approximately 18% per annum. That was a year and a half ago. I would bet when we do research this year, it's probably going to be more like 20%, which is a fantastic diamond in the manufacturing sector in South Africa. Go to the next one, Tina. If we look at the analysis of where we're exporting to, predominantly America and the Caribbean. It's always been relatively easy. It's a beautiful sail if you're sailing from Cape Town across the Atlantic Ocean. Caribbean obviously is a huge charter area. The language is English, so it's been easier for our boat builders to get a good foothold there. But Europe is second biggest for us. And we're planning some big boat shows in Europe next year, 23, in Cannes and in La Rochelle, Australia as well. So you can see that traditionally the areas in the world where yacht chartering is predominant is where we are. The Virgin Islands, Martinique, Indian Ocean Islands, those are our big markets. Next one, Tina. Okay, there's a magnificent Southern Wind, 110-footer being launched. What are the opportunities? Well, I think we're very much like Chile with a west coast. A lot of our coastline is the west coast, cold waters, but we're surrounded by ocean. So there's lots of opportunities to trade with Chile, Bolivia, Ecuador, Peru. Obviously our catamarans, potentially some super yachts, definitely work boats and fishing vessels, aluminium vessels, semi-rigid vessels, and of course, safety craft for the National Sea Rescue Institutes, and offshore patrol vessels and ferries. So, any of the type of craft needed built in composites, glass fiber, aluminium or steel. The component exports are also world-class, as can be expected. Masts, incredibly good mast builders in aluminium and carbon fiber sails. We've got 3 major sail lofts, rope manufacturing, marine upholstery, life jackets and safety gear, deck hardware as well. In the ocean sports sector, that's approximately a 1.5 billion rand a year sector. Wetsuits, surfboards, kiteboarding, wing foils, kite sails, kayaks, surf skis. In the summer in the Cape is the busiest kiteboarding region in the world. We have major kiteboarding competitions, and it's an area where many of the big kiteboard companies do all of their research and development and prototypes making and testing. So that's a very big part of what happens here. We've got very strong winds, great big waves, strong oceans. It's where vessels and the products need to be extremely strong, and they get well tested. And then, of course, training. South Africa, along with New Zealand and Australia, we're the key suppliers of junior deckhands into the world yachting industry and the super yacht world. So we have a lot of very well-established sailing schools and academies. We have specialist super yacht training. In fact, right now, we have 30 staff from one of the world's premier super yacht owning companies. They're in Cape Town as we speak. They're getting specialist training in big surf rescues and driving large semi-rigid inflatables in extreme conditions. And in fact, talking to the gentleman this morning who was organizing this training, they have spent the day foraging at Scarborough this morning, teaching the crews how to find foraged foods on the rocks. So complete diverse spectrum of what we can offer these crews. Next one, Tina. Thank you. If you are choosing a good time to visit Cape Town, to look at our boat builders or marine manufacturers, without a doubt, it's October every year. It's when we have our Cape Town boat show called Botica. We haven't had a boat show for 2 years due to COVID. So we're all extremely excited to have the 2022 boat show in October in the V&A waterfront. It's a typical boat show, as you can imagine, vessels in the water from 100-footers down to 12-foot sailing dinghies, and then much large space on land for the exhibitors in booths and in big marquees, food, wine, boat testing. It's the best time to be in Cape Town if you're looking at boats. Next one, Tina. We have our Boat Builders Guide, the SABEX Industry Guide. It's 130 pages. I don't believe everybody's received it yet, but please contact Carmen or ourselves. We transfer this guide to you. This is a complete, comprehensive guide on our entire sector with all of the builders, all of the manufacturers, all the sailing schools, yacht clubs. It's a brilliant guide. This we completed 2 months ago, so it's extremely up to date. Last one, Tina. And I thank you all, myself, Bruce Tedder, the chairman, Tina, our executive manager, and I think Vanessa Davidson might have popped in. Thank you all very, very much. Email me anytime or email Tina anytime, but we're done and we're open for questions. So thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tedder. Thank you so much for that very insightful presentation on the boat building industry in South Africa. I think, ladies and gentlemen, so if you want to buy a boat, you know where to go to. We have just completed our 2 major presentations for the webinar, and we will now move on to our question and answer session. But I think before we do that, I would just like to tell everybody, all our participants, that we will share the presentations with everyone in the next few days going forward. And so let me just go to the question and answer. It looks like there's currently no questions nor comments from participants. Maybe you can wait a few seconds. Well, it looked like there's no, I think the presentations were very, very insightful and very comprehensive. So it looks like there's no questions from the participants, no comments. So going forward, I mean, the participants are always welcome to send their questions to the embassy, and we will make sure that it gets to the right people, either Wesgro or SABEX, for them to answer. But let me then take this opportunity on behalf of the ambassador and the staff at the South African Embassy in Santiago to thank all our partners, that is Wesgro and SABEX, for their collaboration in making this webinar possible. We're looking forward to working with you in the near future again. Also, our thanks go to the president of the Chile South Africa Chamber of Industry, Mr. Santiago Montt, for joining us this morning. And we received apologies from our 2 honorary consuls, Mr. Guillermo van Oort in Peru, as well as Mr. Ortiz in Ecuador, for not being able to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to thank the rest of the participants. For us, those in Chile, Peru, Ecuador, and Bolivia that have joined us. And thank you so much for putting the time aside to join us this morning. We appreciate that very much. I would like to end this webinar by just reminding everybody that we are still dealing with COVID-19, and therefore appeal to you to take care of yourselves, your family, and your friends. Thank you once again to everybody, all the participants that have joined us, and I hope to see all of you in the near future. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you. Thanks,
Welcome.
everyone.